Hello, guys. My name is Dima. Mm, I decided very spontaneously to record some video regarding these events in Ukraine. Um, I know that I'm not Ukrainian, I'm not Russian, I'm a Belarusian, but still, I mean, this situation really concerns me. Like, I don't know. Usually, I don't like recording and telling some stuff which I'm not expert about. I'm not expert on in politics. I don't know much, and yet I do have to say something about the events. Let me tell you why I want to say something, because I really, among all other political events in the world, the most I have to say, the most knowledge I possess, more or less, is about this country, this region. Like, yes. And also, very important factor is that I'm a Russian myself. Like, by nationality, I'm a Russian. So, and my hometown in Belarus is very close to the Russian border. Many of my relatives, at least from my father's side, from my father's side, they come from Russia. And I remember my grandfather and my grandmother, when I used to hang around with them, like when I was a kid, like 10 years old or something, I kind of knew, and it was nothing special that I knew they were Russian, like they were born there, and somehow it was never ever like no one ever, I don't remember even at the table, let's say my parents were having a dinner with my grandparents, and there were never questions regarding like our like roots, like the fact that we are in Belarus, but the grandparents were born deeper in Russia, and never mind. So I'm concerned, and I really don't like. Of course, I disapprove. Like at the beginning, I disapprove Russian activities, Russian aggression. This is not the way in which things should be handled. Like at least not nowadays. I don't think nowadays this is that necessary. But since I'm Russian myself, I was born in Belarus. Like I hold a Belarusian citizenship, and but my nationality is Russian. So I kinda don't like the situation, because throughout my life I was never into politics, and I never gave a shit about politics and what's going on. I always kinda had a natural understanding that this is just a dirty game. Like people, like it's all above us. Like we usual citizens, we will never know the whole truth. We don't know all the details, like what is really going on up there. So because of that, I never was interested in politics. Like what's the point? Like, but okay, let me get straight to the point. I'm recording in English, although today morning, like I was able to say right to the point in Russian my main idea. So I never liked, even like 8 years ago when this conflict arose between Ukraine and Russia. I instantly noticed this trend, this visible trend, and I instantly disliked it. It's like um, I it I felt it naturally. Like, well, wait a minute. Like, I get everything. Like, I understand both sides, like arguments and what this all is about. But let be let's try to be reasonable and constructive in all of this. Like, what like stroke into my eyes, like this trend and these huge messages around the world in social media and in every mass media sources. Like, the message was Russia is an evil, it's an aggressor, and it's horrible, and we gotta stop it. Like, in a nutshell, it was like that even 8 years ago, or even before that. I kinda saw that it was depicted in this way, like Russia is an evil and Ukraine is not. Like, I'm simplifying a lot, but the main message was all over, like between the lines, like it was all over this whole situation. And I have always wondered, like, why, like what the fuck, like, I mean, because I always kind of knew that politics is just a dirty game, and it's just those wealthy people who are involved in politics. They play these games, like it's always about money, like, and business making. I thought it is obvious for everybody, like there is no evil country, evil politics, and saint politics. It's all about money, it's all about this, like, simple as that. So how come some country in some conflict can be an evil? How come? Well, I mean, yes, you can say in North Korea it is like this. There is no question that the government in North Korea is an evil. Well, it's kind of a good reference, but you cannot compare, like, Russia in this case to North Korea. Like, uh, yeah, and I can explain why. Like, I'm not justifying Russia, but I don't see it is all right, to put all the blame on Russia. Like, in media nowadays, everywhere. And before that, as long as I remember myself and this whole conflicts between Russia and Ukraine, it has always been like that. For some reason, Russia has always been depicted as some evil country with, and yeah, and after the USSR collapsed in 1991, Russia kind of wanted to get those lost area back, and this is like the main argument why Russia, like, would like to, get back those areas like Ukraine and former Soviet Republic or something like that. It kind of makes sense, like, it is logical, I don't argue with that. But for God's sakes, people, my main message is, it is not alright just to depict Russia is an evil and Ukraine is saint. You see? Because Ukraine is not saint. Because trust me, me personally, I like Ukrainian people. I like Russian people, Belarusian people. Like, to me, I have never seen differences between those nations. To me, we are all like, we are connected. We are different nations, but we are very closely related nations. We share the same language. At least, like, we understand. We can communicate in Russian, all of us. And saying just Ukraine is saint and Russia is not, like Russia is an evil, don't you think it is too much of a simplification? Well, I mean, I can tell, I can talk longer on this topic, but I will gradually I will get to the conclusion. Like, uh, what I think about it, like, yes, I disapprove the aggression, but on the other hand, think about it this way. Since I just gave you some food for thought that it is not as simple as it looks like, and we should not see it like Ukraine is saint, because it's ridiculous. Ukraine is not saint. Don't you know that how Ukraine is governed, that uh, there are this oligarch who like kind of split the power. And do you really know like the background of this oligarch, like how indeed their government is handled, like how this whole process above, like in Ukraine, or between this oligarch, how it is all of this like happening? Do you know this? Do you really think that this oligarch, people who are in power in Ukraine, that they don't have any business interests? Do you really think? Of course, they also care about money, all of them. Somebody is more like how do I say it? Like somebody is kind of more I forgot this word, but anyway, like my point is that it is horrible when out of a sudden Russia is attacking like and bombing cities, like buildings. Of course, it is out of the question. But let's think about the arguments of Russia. They mentioned it is all about the safety of those republics, those Donetsk Republic and Lugansk Republic, right? I was curious myself, because the main ideas behind this aggression, behind this operation in Ukraine right now, the reason is that during 8 years of this conflict on the east of Ukraine, civil people, first of all, civil people, innocent people were dying. And yesterday I checked myself, around 3,000 or even 4,000 people at least. And I tried to find some resources, not Russian resources, but kind of resources which at least were referred to some international like organization, which were trying to estimate how many people died, like innocent people, in those areas of Donetsk and Lugansk republics. People, 3,000 or even 4,000 innocent people just died there. And these were not like military people. So some usual apartments where people lived, apparently some people put some bombs and those buildings exploded and people died. Like I'm having this vision in my head. I don't know the details. I can only speculate and build the visions how it might have looked in reality. But so, don't you think this was not horrible? That much of people, innocent people, simply died because some other people killed them. Do you think this is less worse than what is happening right now in Ukraine? Well, I don't think so. But then again, the question here arises, like, who killed those people? Who is responsible for those 4,000 deaths in those east of Ukraine, right? If you believe, and you have some sources that it was Russia or those people supported by Russia, and these were for sure not people connected with actual legal Ukrainian government. If you believe so, then of course I understand. If you believe so, then for you what is happening right now in Ukraine, it is horrible, it is out of the questions, and it is simply a war, and it's horrible. But what if, because I myself don't know like who the fuck killed those 4,000 innocent people in those Donetsk and Luhansk? Who kills them? Do you really know? You can provide some arguments, but how can you be sure, like 100%, that you know for sure that people who killed those innocent people in Donetsk and Luhansk, they were not at all connected with Ukrainian government, with Ukrainian people, like with Ukraine and their military? Like, I cannot be sure, because, well, it's kind of, to me, it's weird. Like, I don't think that some people did so, killed those people, and they were connected with those people living in Donetsk Republic and Luhansk Republic. Well, because it makes no sense why they would kill their own citizens, their own people. The same, I don't think that Russia did it. Like, I don't think that Russia made it possible that those people were killed, innocent people. But then again, who did this? So I'm just, guys, I'm not trying to justify Russia or anything. I'm curious, like, when you post all these information posts on social medias, like informing, like it's horrible, like look what this idiot is doing, like Putin is an evil empire, Russia is doing again bad things. Like when most of you do this, did you ever think about what I said before? Did you really ever think about it, like for a while? Like, are you really sure you know the truth? You are so sure what was really happening in those areas in the east of Ukraine? Just think about it, guys, for a moment. Just think about it. As I told you, I disapprove the actions right now in Ukraine from Russia, but I don't think it is all right to depict the whole situation like Russia is an evil and Ukraine is saint. So that's all from my side. I'm curious to know, like, if my, for example, speech right now would really like cause a lot of hatred towards me and my thoughts. I'm just curious. Did I say really something so like? Did I say something supporting Russia? No. I have always tried to take a neutral stand on every conflict or situation, because it is interesting. I don't think Russia is that stupid, and people are so stupid that they would just go for it because they are evil, and they will try to like conquer every weaker country because they are just evil. Because it's stupid. It's a stupid conclusion, and I don't think it is wise to believe this is like this.